Hello, beautiful people. These are all my thoughts and opinions based on information out in the public domain. Please do your own research, and this is a platform for entertainment and to express our opinions. Please, if you like the videos, like, share, and subscribe and leave your comments to make the platform grow. You guys know that my kind of YouTube channel faces a lot of censorship, so that is very much appreciated if you feel like it. Also, thank you for all the tips and for all your support to the channel. I also want to say that I'm doing a live today with Samantha Markle because she needs our help with a serious matter. I won't be doing it in my channel because I am very technically challenged. I still haven't learned how to do the Zoom thing. I did a couple of lives before, but then I've forgotten how to do that and my son is not here. So it will be with Miss Pidina. I will leave the channel where we're gonna do it, okay? And please bear with me with City because I'm trying to train her not to be whining, okay? So please like, share, and subscribe. Yes, and let's get into the video.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry hit with boos and some cheers as they made their first public appearance with the royal family in 2 years. Inside St. Paul's Cathedral, they were seated on the opposite side of the aisle from Harry's brother Prince William and his wife Kate Middleton.
Is this awkward?
Oh yeah.
Yes. People underestimate how dangerous a person like Meghan Markle and how dangerous people like Harry and Meghan Markle are when allowed and spoiled, and when their whims are basically, pandered to. Queen Elizabeth made a very definite gesture during her jubilee that Harry and Meghan Markle were no longer not only senior royals, not only non-working royals, but they were not senior royals. And let's not forget that Harry was sixth in line to the throne at the time and a grandchild to the Queen and the son to the heir to the throne. Yet the Queen said no. She put a she drew the line, and not in the sand. No, it was like plutonium concrete to make sure that Harry and Meghan understood what their place was inside the monarchy. They had no place with the senior members of the family at all, because let's face it, and I mean, I have been a critic sometimes of our late monarch because I wanted her to make more decisive action against Harry and Meghan, because in my opinion they're like gangrene. Of course she didn't in many instances, but in this instance, something that matters, something so that like the Jubilee, a historic moment, she made her feelings she made her feelings known, and monarchy took precedence over personal feelings. She said no, Harry and Meghan left. God knows what they've done, but they left because protocol has no feelings. They left. They don't want to work as the royal members of for the monarchy. They're in the United States. They go on the other pile with the less important royals. Let the main royals do their job and take place of pride, because they are working for the monarchy and they're representing me as the Queen. She drew the line, right? Very, very publicly drew the line. And what happened? Harry and Meghan took off because they threw a tantrum. The Queen did not care about tantrums. The Queen did not care about being popular. She cared about doing the right thing, So, and and the whole of the UK felt heard by Her Majesty the Queen, because people are genuinely outraged even now, because the whole funeral has been made about Harry and Meghan. Constant headlines. Oh, Meghan is angry and seething because her kids are only going to be prince and princess. First off, the palace has not said anything about that. They haven't confirmed whether they're going to get prince and princess titles, okay? But the headlines haven't stopped. But the monarch, Her Majesty the Queen at the time, said, you know what? You've gone. You belong to the other pile now. Yep. Now Harry's gonna wear military uniform. I know many people say, oh, it's gonna be for a private vigil for 15 minutes with all the grandchildren. It doesn't matter. If you give a mouse a cookie, he will want a glass of milk. When he's drunk the milk, he will want another cookie, and the cookie will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? Because that's what's happening here. You do not negotiate with terrorists. It doesn't matter if it's for 15 minutes at a private vigil. We have seen what Harry and Meghan are capable of doing, because apparently there's an investigation about this photo as to how that picture was taken. Now, can you imagine if that had been a sniper? This is a big security fail, which is why the newspapers pulled it. And oh, there's an ongoing investigation. So I just want you, please understand that this is another historic occasion, just like the Jubilee of the Queen was. And Her Majesty the Queen had been planning her funeral for many, many years, to the last detail. This vigil, which is most likely hastily arranged by Charles, because it has never been announced. It was never part of anything. This has been done to pander to Harry and Meghan. Now, Harry and Meghan are dangerous if a weak person who is above them or who has the power to do that, if the person who actually has the power to stop them or at least curtail their actions in many ways, because by removing the Sussex titles and the Prince titles and everything, by issuing a letters patent, turning Henry Windsor into a private citizen, so when he leaves the United Kingdom, he's no longer a prince nor duke nor anything, he basically removes all the weapons and ammunition that make Harry and Meghan important. Because the only reason why they're relevant anywhere in the world is because of the titles and all the drama that it creates. Make no mistake that all the crazy things that Meghan Markle and Harry do, they do it using the royal titles. They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped, nor will they stop until somebody with strength of character, like our late Queen, stops him. And as I said before, she had made a very, very clear statement to the world, because it was her Jubilee. As you know, that Jubilee is never going to happen again. But now Prince Charles is giving Harry literally his 15 minutes of fame. His 15 minutes of fame by standing near the coffin of the Queen, placing vigil to a woman that him and Meghan Markle tormented to her death, literally to her death. He's been rewarded. So, and not only that, she's been imposed on other people, because the Queen did not make Sophie go with Meghan and Harry. No, the Queen made sure that actually Harry and Meghan were supposed to come to St. Paul's Cathedrals in the bus with the other royals. But of course, they chose to be late, so they would walk on their own. Okay? So, but Charles is making them front and center, imposing her on other people. I mean, the Countess, Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, I mean, this woman is seriously grieving. And yet she has to pander and entertain to somebody who may be wearing a microphone, most likely. You know what I mean? Now, I just want to talk a little bit on the titles things, okay? Yep. As you can see, Prince Edward's children, even though they were entitled to be prince and princess long time ago, they're not. And they are the Queen's grandchildren. The monarch was alive. They were entitled to have and use those titles. Yet they're not. They're not. That tells you a lot. Yet nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody, we have all these woke left who are trashing the monarchy, who are calling it colonialist, racist, reparations and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk reparations just a little bit. You know, the Native Americans in the United States, should the entire United States leave the country and give back the country to the Native Americans. Everybody's talking about the black people. How about the Native Americans? Let's not forget that white people came and they pretty much killed and annihilated all these people. Yet nobody's talking reparations to them. I don't want to get political, but it's a fact. If we're going to talk reparations, let's talk reparations, okay? So why is Meghan Markle and Harry dangerous? Why? Because a terrorist knows its prey. They know that a person is weak. And I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but Charles is just like Meghan Markle. In 1994, he wrote a book. He did an interview, and it was a very momentous year, okay? It was a very momentous year.
It's 1994, a year of new beginnings around the world. As this historic footage shows, America and Russia sign an agreement which ends the imminent threat of nuclear warfare.
Bill Clinton believes that he and Boris Yeltsin have today made a real contribution to future peace.
South Africa holds its first ever free elections.
27 years in prison, a lifetime of oppression. Today, the vote that makes the sacrifice worthwhile.
And in Britain, the IRA declares a ceasefire after 25 years of bloody conflict. But for the heir to the British throne, 1994 was a year to remember for all the wrong reasons. Prince Charles was shot at in Australia by a man with a starting pistol loaded with blanks. And things went from bad to worse when he became the first British royal to publicly confess to adultery.
Yes, I love that channel, so please go watch it. It has amazing documentaries. But that's how important that year was. That year was the year that the Queen, because Russia, you know, they ended the Cold War and everything, the Queen did her first tour to Russia that year, at the end of the year. But guess what was dominating the headlines? Guess what was dominating the headlines?
It was exactly 19 years to the day since the heir to the throne had sensationally made himself and his mistress front page news by deciding to give a television interview to publicise a royal biography by journalist Jonathan Dimbleby. The surprising admission, the first time any royal had ever publicly confessed to infidelity, cast the woman he had been adulterous with into a harsh spotlight.
Poll ratings were abysmal. She was labelled a marriage breaker, a temptress and worse.
When the book finally hit the shelves, it contained even more graphic details of the affair.
Simon Parker Bowles says, "I'd be more inclined to say poor old Camilla. Prince Charles does not have our sympathy at the moment."
As Charles's popularity declined, a public debate started about his fitness to be king.
Yes, that was dominating the headlines, and Charles did it very pointedly, and it even became worse when the actual contents of the book revealed that not only had he done the dirty with Camilla, but he was trashing the Queen and his father in the worst possible way. In the worst possible way. So this is the man who is supposed to control Harry and Meghan Markle. What happens now is that Charles doesn't like the fact that Harry wants to do to him what he did to his mother. But unlike the Queen didn't pander to Charles, didn't give him what he wanted. She just kept carrying on. Everybody trashes Princess Diana as being the first of this and that. No, the first one was Charles. And nobody wants to talk about it now. Oh, let bygones be bygones. While Princess Diana is still being vilified nowadays. Okay? But this is the man who's supposed to be controlling Harry and Meghan Markle. No. It takes one to know one. Prince Charles, King Charles, know what Meghan is capable because he's capable of it too. He's entitled. He is arrogant. Is what Charles wants, Charles gets. And I hate it. I mean, I hate the fact that I'm saying this because, you know, he just lost his mother and I thought he was starting well. But now, you know, we have all these things, all this pandering to Prince Harry just because King Charles doesn't want a book published about him. You know what? King Charles, should have the strength of character, but that's kind of hard. You do not develop strength of character after 73 years. You are what you are. But he shouldn't care what, you know, let Harry do the dirty deed. Let Harry publish the book. We all know Harry lies. So this man wants to do vigil and pay his respects to the woman who for the last, and by the way, no, he was not emotional at the service that he went there. He was fidgeting. He was bored to hell while his skanky wife was smirking the way through, being imposed on Duchess of the Princess of Wales. Okay, so basically, King Charles is saying to the Queen, to the late Queen, screw your very wishes, your late wishes, the wishes for your own funeral. I'm going to use your funeral to ingrate myself to Harry in the hopes that he won't write a book or he will quit talking trash about me and Camilla. Because this is what's happening with all the alterations to the Queen's wishes for her own funeral. And I know many of you will disagree with me, but this is what's happening. We're seeing happening in real time. I mean, it's a disgrace. It's very sad to watch that somebody's wishes, somebody's very sacred wishes, are thrown to the wind for people who are completely arrogant. There's absolutely no respect. And King Charles had the power to do this and basically say, you know what, Harry, you're here. No. Meghan Markle has to be at the procession. Meghan Markle has to be behind us. Meghan Markle has to come with Sophie. So they're using the goodwill and people feel for Sophie. So Meghan Markle sponges off of it. Harry didn't mind not wearing the uniform. He was told no by the Queen. And the King is saying, I don't care what the Queen says, what the Queen said. I care what you're going to write about me. And if my dear old boy means that you're going to, maybe stop or be kinder to me or Camilla, then you know what? Never mind what my mom wanted. Never mind. It's quite sad indeed. I was hoping that things were not going to be made about Harry and Meghan, but they are. My channel is about this. And the reason why this channel exists is because things are wrong. Things are seriously wrong. My channel has never been about hatred for Meghan. I get death threats all the time. I get called the worst possible vile names, and simply because I don't want a woman who is a D-lister grifter. She was number 24 girl in a Suitcase show and supporting Rolling Suits, but that's nothing wrong with that. But the woman who has consistently lied and slandered the monarchy, an institution that represents me because I am Canadian, and they're being rewarded here. They're being rewarded with PR and more content for the Netflix or whatever Spotify there is, while they show all disrespect in the latter years of Her Majesty the Queen, when she needed to be loved and enjoy her latest years. Stress can be a killer, and Meghan Markle knew how to pull that trigger. Please leave me your thoughts.